We are talking about a touchy subject today, but that's okay. We gonna get through it like we done got through everything else. Today's topic is about suicide. Some people choose suicide because of many reasons: extreme stress, pain, feeling hopeless, financial situations, relationships, letdowns, being ashamed or embarrassment, feeling alone and no one to talk to. There's others such as separation, guilt, rejection, abuse, violence, debts, and many, many more. Warning signs are not always easy to identify. People tend to keep these unpleasant feelings to themselves, hiding behind a mask, pretending that things are okay. But this most definitely makes things worse. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among teenagers in this country. Bullying and social media increases pressure, and both bullying and social media has contributed to the rise in teen suicide. Suicide is most common among adults ages 45 to 64. Yet, suicide affects all ages, gender, races, and everyone. So, with that being said, I would like for you guys to help me welcome our next guest because she is here to talk to us because unfortunately she's had a situation with suicide concerning her husband. So, with that being said, help me welcome Miss Lisa to the podcast. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
I am happy to have you.
Thank you.
And it takes courage to talk about things like this, you know. But I hope and pray that somebody out there is listening and get to take something from this because we're not here to down nobody. We just here to talk about feelings and things to enlighten you about suicide. So how are you
If you
today?
don't mind me saying this real quick, and some of the stuff you may hear may be sensitive, because I was sharing with you before we started today that I really think that it's important for people to hear the real stuff,
That's right.
the real, like real stuff, the real things that people that are left behind go through,
Absolutely.
and even some of the raw details of what happened.
Right.
So that being said, you may hear some sensitive things. So I just want to let people know who's watching and listening that
Right. How are you today?
today I am blessed and highly favored.
That's right. You
I
look
am.
good, Lisa.
Thank you so much. It's been a
So,
long journey, so.
yeah. Tell opinions in your own words about who you are.
That's a good question.
Let's start there.
Because one of the things I've said since he passed was I felt like I lost my identity. Like when people would see me in the store and stuff, it's like that's the first thing they would see.
Okay.
Is
You're hurt.
It's like I want you to, yeah, that's part of my life, but there's so much more to me.
I'm Lisa.
So I'm glad that you asked me,
Mm-hmm.
Lisa. So I'm Lisa Shafa. I was a wife for 13 years to Taja Dean Oladelia Shafa. I have two children, Amaya Jones, by your, it's my fam, y'all,
Yes.
for real fam.
For real, fam.
Yeah, for real fam. By Anthony Jones.
Mhm.
And I have a son, Elijah Ashafa, which I have with Dilly.
Right.
That's what we call him. So I have my master's degree in criminal justice. I did the 12-month substance use counseling program at University of Cincinnati. I've worked a lot locally in the community, specifically prior to his death, working in community mental health, specifically with substance use disorders. But they go hand in hand. But I did that leading up to it, and
Really?
yeah, I'll tell you that I used to ask myself. I started the Mobile Response Stabilization Services program here in Allen, Always, and Hardin County. And that was a service for children and families.
Okay.
And at the time, I asked my boss, like, why in the world are you giving me this program? Because it's serving children and families. You know, up to this time, I've worked with adults, substance use disorders. Why are you giving me this, ma'am? Okay, whatever, I'll just do it. Lord, I'm gonna make the best of it.
Okay.
Fast forward, I knew when he died why I was given that task, because I learned about children
Okay.
and children's needs when they experience trauma
Right.
and all that stuff. So I was educated enough in my head, enough to not fall apart, enough to be able to help him.
Because
by the
you got a
things I
child
learned.
and you
Yes.
was going to need it one day.
Yes.
You was going to need everything that you was learning
Yes.
one day.
I was gonna need it.
Wow.
Yeah, and didn't know at the time. So
Yeah.
anyway, did community mental health. Right now, I'm just waiting on God's next assignment to put me where He wants me to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we're here to talk about, you were married, right?
I was.
Okay, so we're here to talk about your late husband, and his name is?
He goes by Dilly. His
Dilly.
legal name is Tajuddin Oladili Ashafa.
Okay.
So he goes by Dilly for short, because Tajuddin is a mouthful.
So he was African?
Yep, he originated here from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
I believe my dates are sketchy, 2001 or 3, something like that. He was in the United Nations military.
Okay.
And he was protecting, he was a military soldier that was accompanying a group of doctors, actually from Lima.
Really?
From the airport to their final destination, and they were ambushed, and they were robbed. He was the only person in uniform, and he was shot 6 times.
Oh, wow.
Ended up amputating his right arm. When he was stable enough, the doctors that he was accompanying brought him to the United States. The one was his uncle, Dr. Owie. He had a family practice here in Lima at the time. So that's how he ended up coming to Lima. Yeah.
Wow.
Was for treatment.
And he was protecting some of the doctors in Lima.
Yeah, and so they brought him to the United States and was helping him initially with his citizenship and to help him get the proper care. Because in his country, they would have just, Americans are very fortunate. In his country, they probably would have just left him to die, because there, somebody with disabilities, you're not effective with anything. You can't be useful.
Oh, wow. That's sad.
Yeah, so they brought him here, and he ended up, when he passed, he had accomplished his doctorate degree in business administration.
That's great.
Wrote a book.
Very smart.
Achievement, oh my God, I'm having a brain fart here. Achievement against adversity. Adversity against achievement is his book that he wrote. And it was about how he overcame all these obstacles. So when he died by suicide, it was like literally a rug.
How can you go out like that?
Right.
You know so much better. Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Okay, so my next question was, how did you guys meet and how long was you together?
So I met Dilly when I was working in the developmental disability fields. He actually worked for me, and for the record, no, we did not date when I was the supervisor, okay? I'll roll like that, for the record. He worked for me. I remember interviewing him, and he was just begging me for a job.
Okay.
With his prosthetic on, and he said, I swear I can do the job, And I said, well, I hope you can, because I got a lady in the back, and she got one of those too. And if she can do the job, and I wasn't lying.
I know you can.
I had a lady back there that had a prosthetic.
Really?
Yeah. She was lifting patients, and I was like, so I know if she can do it, you can do it.
Well, that's good that you didn't discriminate or nothing, because
never. You can do the job,
That's right, Lisa.
Long story short, he moved to Toledo, was going to college initially for pharmacy. We stayed in contact. He utilized myself and my girlfriend Yolanda, because she was in leadership then at the time too. We just helped him, because he didn't have any friends and family around here. So fast forward years later, he ended up, I was single, he asked me out, and I was like, no, like, we're friends, like, that's weird, like, no.
So when you got with him, y'all stayed together for how long?
We were together for 13 years. 13 years, and
had a child.
We had a child together. Elijah, yes, and he ended up raising Maya like it was his own too. Like, he never ever tried to say, like, this is my daughter, but you have a father. I just got blessed with having, being in your life,
Seriously.
always encouraged. Maya, you ask her, Maya, you know this. Call your dad on this holiday, call your dad. Like, he was just a good man. Just
Yeah.
an all around good man.
Yeah. So before you found out the tragic news about what happened to your husband, when was the last time you talked to him, and how did that conversation go?
So Dilly, he had just, after his doctorate degree, he had just achieved his CDL. Did truck driving school. This man was next on his journey to get his pilot license. Got his CDL, and he had a job offer in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee. Okay.
Yep. And so initially he debated on going because he didn't want to leave me and the kids and blah, blah, blah. I said, just go, you're not going to be gone forever. So he gets down to the job, and they ask for his immigration papers. And so he gives them his immigration papers, and they say, well, your last name is spelled wrong. And so we're not going to be able to hire you right now. You're going to have to just contact immigration and get your name change fixed on it, and then you can get the job.
And that's a big process.
Send him into a spiral. If anybody knew him, immigration was his biggest trigger.
Okay.
Because he had been here since 2000, I'm gonna say 3 for the record, I think 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking 2022.
Right.
So from 2003 to 2022, he was still never a natural born or naturalized citizen. He only had his green card.
Okay.
So that meant they couldn't deport him, but there were certain things that you can't do unless you're a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
They kept denying him that piece.
Right.
All money. It's all money. This man spent over more than $35,000 trying to get his citizenship.
Trying to do the right thing.
We filed for his green card renewal a year before he died.
Mm-hmm.
I got it 2 years after he died. Wow. That tells you how bad the Department of Immigration is. So when the job says, just give us the form, just get it corrected, bring it back. I can only say in my head it took him on a spiral that he didn't share. He called me. He was pissed. We FaceTimed.
So
when he got there, he FaceTimed me. He showed me the hotel, like before he left. He showed me all the summary. Like I was on my stuff with him because before Dilly and I ever dated, he attempted suicide.
He had
attempted suicide.
He told you about it. He shared.
I knew about it.
How?
I knew about it because he was still working in the developmental fields, but he was in Toledo. We had mutual friends. We were still in contact, and a friend said, "I want you to know," called me and said, "Dilly's in the hospital. He attempted suicide."
So how was it that time?
I just called him on the phone. He was in Flower Hospital in Toledo. I called him on the phone. He made a dumb decision. He said it. He was
what did he try to do? What was the?
He took pills.
He took pills.
He took a bunch of pills, and then after he took the pills, he realized he wasn't ready to die, and he called 911 on himself.
Okay.
And went to the hospital and stayed there for a while. Anyway, throughout our 13 years of marriage, I worried about that because I knew, he had attempted before we got together. So I watched his sleep patterns. I watched everything. I secretly counted his meds. I did.
Did you, Lisa?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because when you're aware of something, you have to not act like you don't know. You're aware of it.
Why would I not
that was one of the questions that I had that I was going to ask, but I thought, I don't know. Yeah.
Ask whatever you want to ask because people need to know, this is what I lived with for 13 years. And I don't want to that's only a part of it because the other piece, the other huge part of it was beautiful. Okay. I had a beautiful marriage. Mm-hmm. I had rocky relationships in the past, and this man showed me what a man was supposed to be like.
Love.
How a man was supposed to treat a woman.
That's right.
In public, behind closed doors, how to be a father.
Everything.
To his own, to somebody else's, to anybody else's. He didn't care. Mm-hmm. So many of Maya's friends all called him Pops. Everybody knew him by Pops. All the kids.
From the outside looking in, it looked like y'all had
a spiritual man.
Yeah.
It wasn't fake. It wasn't fake for social media.
So that was one of my questions that I definitely got. Is he a spiritual man? Was you guys religious?
Yes, man of God. He's the one that actually got me into my faith. Okay. I mean, I didn't grow up in church because my parents worked 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. So I tried to find my own faith with a girlfriend that I was really close to. Her mom used to drag us to church on Sundays when we first moved to Lima. but he's the one that really helped me get my foundation in Christ, really define my relationship with him. And I found in his phone, the day before he died, he had this most beautiful prayer of thanksgiving, and how he went to the mosque before he left and donated cases of bananas and stuff because it was getting ready for the Muslim religion to fast. And so in their culture, in the religion, you give thanks for, all your praises and glories to God. And so in their culture, they would give gifts, and it was food.
Okay.
Because in their country, that's what you long for, right?
That's right.
So he gave, like, I don't know, cases and cases of fruits to the mosque here. He did that before he left.
I know, with all the great things, that he sounds like a great guy.
I'm telling you,
gotta be
it
feeling
rocked
disappointed
my
at
world.
times. Like,
Disappointed, angry, every emotion that you can think of. So, like, you asked me when the last time I talked to him. He got there, he showed me the room. It was Wednesday night. He said, they didn't accept me because of my form. I said, Billy, come back. I know it was a 7-hour drive. Just come back. You got an offer waiting on you in Indiana, where he went to truck driving school. The guy wanted you. Yeah, but I don't have to be whatever. Just come back. And he was like, all right, I'll get up in the morning and I'll just come back. And I said, I'm gonna get ready. We FaceTime. I got a FaceTime screenshot that he took of me. On our last conversation, when I got his phone back, that screenshot was in my phone.
wow.
Of me saying, like, just come back. And he was like, shh.
Yeah.
He took a screenshot. I looked terrible on it, but I'm like, yeah. So Thursday comes around, I'm thinking he's gonna come back. He would get in his little moods where he needed to just be away from people for a while. Like I used to tell him, like, you're gonna go fly off in a tree, because he would disappear for a while. He would do this at home too. He just needed to clear his head. Yeah, just needed to breathe. And we had conversation about, like, we had code things like, I'm just gonna go take a minute. It wasn't that word, but we had our own phrases that were personal. But he would say, I'm gonna do this, and then I knew that he just needed his own space.
Right.
I mean, we worked on our relationship to that degree.
Right.
So Thursday, I get up. The kid Maya's in Florida. Maya's in college in Florida. Elijah's at school. I wasn't working at the time. I didn't hear from him Thursday. Thursday goes. I'm texting him, calling him.
So the last time you actually talked to him was Wednesday night.
Thursday night. There's a piece of this that I had to think for a second. I don't know if I've ever even shared publicly. I'm gonna share it today though. So Thursday goes. All day, I'm texting him, calling him, like, what the fuck? I'm Scott said, excuse my language, but I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You got kids, why aren't you answering me? Get your head out your ass, like, just come back. Like, I thought he just had one of his little moments. Like his moment, yeah. Thursday night comes around, it's like 8 o'clock. I already timed how long it would take him to get home, even if he stopped and ate and got gas twice.
I know that's right, because that's what
us women
do.
Yeah, I knew what time he'd be home. 8 o'clock, he should have been home. He's still not answering. My stomach started to get sick, like, something ain't right.
Right.
I called Maya and said, because if anybody could get through to Dilly, it was Maya. Call Pops and just see if he answers you. I think he just had one of his moments, he's on his way back from Nashville. She called me right back. She said it went to voicemail. I said, just text him and tell him to call you. I didn't want to worry her though, she's like, everything okay? Yeah, everything all right. He just had one of his moods. He got turned down the job. Just, let that go. 10 o'clock. Now I'm really worried. So I called his Uncle Coney and I said, something ain't right. I just feel every bit in me, like something inside of me said something is not right.
Yeah.
He was like, what do you mean? I said, he's not home yet. He should have been home. Like, I can understand him being mad and needing, like, just space and then driving and just listening to music and clearing his head. But, like, he should have been home by now. And this is not like him. And he called him, left him a voicemail. He said, we just keep trying. Maybe he's got his head up his ass because, a chauffeur would do stuff like that. Thursday night, he never came. And I'm like, I woke up Friday morning still thinking, he's just, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Oh, I'm sorry. I called the hotel on Thursday, and I said, could you tell me if Could you tell me if Tajani Shafa is checked out of his room? No, man, or I can't tell you that, or something like that. So I'm his wife, I'm calling from Ohio, and she's like, he's not checked out yet. And I'm like, checked out yet? Like, now something really wrong. Like, you ain't even left. Like, I'm texting, mad text, and I'm pissed. Like, you know, woman, you pissed off.
Yeah.
You saying all kinds of stuff.
Exactly.
I just thought, did you stay an extra day? Like, what is, like, there was never no, I know people speculated, was there ever any infidelity? No, no, and no. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
We were very transparent. We talked about our past relationships. Even, we went through a bad time a year before.
Mm-hmm.
We were so transparent with each other. So, like, you know, people would speculate stuff, but, you know, if you want to know something, ask me.
That's
No,
right.
there was never on
No
God's
cheating,
holy,
no.
on God's holy
No,
Bible.
y'all
if
was
you
too
put it
happy
in,
for that. You can kind of
it wasn't
see.
like that. It
Yeah,
wasn't
you
even
can
like
kind
that.
of see because you will be, you too real for that.
Yeah,
I don't know how you could hide it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'd go ape shit crazy if that ever happened. Like, we'd see divorce in the news, like, or killed.
Exactly.
So he, Thursday night, anyway, let me fast forward a little bit. Myself and his uncle tried for hours to get through. The hotel said he was still there. The lady on the phone, I said, I'm begging you. Could you please just go knock on his door? She said, I can't do that. You won't get me in trouble. And I started crying on the phone, and I said, something is not right with my husband. Something's not right. I feel it, everything in me, ma'am. He's a veteran. He's an amputee. 20-some years ago, he attempted suicide. I can feel something is not right in my spirit. Please, I'm begging you. I'm crying, saying this to her on the phone. I remember her name was Tammy.
Yeah.
Her name was Tammy. At the, I got the hotel still in my phone to this day, the hotel. Yeah, she said, all right, call me back in 20 minutes. But I swear to God, you better not tell nobody I did this. I said, I swear on everything, I just need you to tell me. Is his car there? It's a black Hyundai Sonata, tinted windows, it's got Ohio plates, blah, blah. He's a one-armed Nigerian, da, 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 da. Said all that. I called back, it seemed like an hour, I called back 20 minutes, and she said, his car's in the parking lot, and he's in his room, I can hear him in there. And I said, what the hell?
So that's Thursday night.
That's Thursday night. He's alive. Because she said she could hear him in his room. I go to bed pissed off, like, what the hell, you've never done this. You know, like, you could call somebody. I wake up Friday morning, I get Elijah to school, his aunt comes over, and she was like, I think we should just drive down there and find out what's wrong with him. And I'm like, I'm texting him saying, Dilly, Bola and I are getting ready to leave right now. We're driving to Nashville to get you. I don't know what's going on right now, but we're coming to get you.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets a little blurry here. I can remember,
Okay, so before you
Go ahead.
you don't even have to go on.
Okay,
Are you okay?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna get emotional here because I remember, and I don't wanna stop, because this is what I said after he died. People suppress feelings,
Yeah.
and that's why they end up doing this, is because you hold it all in and then eventually you pop, right?
You do.
Emotions are human.
They are.
You're supposed to feel like this.
You are.
If I didn't feel like this, something would be wrong.
Yeah.
I got a call. It was I was on the phone with the Nashville Police Department. I called R911. I have no non-licensed detective. I don't know how to do shit. You woman,
Or it get like that.
you know how to find something out, you woman, right?
Yeah.
So I got this phone call, and I looked on my phone, and it said something examiner, and it said Nashville, Tennessee. So I answered the call, and I was like, hello, and he said, this is Chaplain IV. Can I speak with Lisa Shaffa? And I was like, Mrs. Shaffa, and I was like, I'm sorry, who? And it was like, it's like somebody in the background said something to him, and he said, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm gonna call you right back. And hung up the phone on me, and I was like, what the hell? And I said, well, this was like some medical examiner's office, and they asked for me, like, it still nothing registered.
That it was about him.
It didn't register. It didn't register that it was about him. I couldn't understand, like, why is a Nashville medical examiner's office calling me?
Mm-hmm.
I called back. They hung up the phone on me. I couldn't, I had everything on speaker, like, I'm pissed off, like, somebody gonna tell me something.
I know,
For the
that's
third
what I
time, and
used
I was
to-
like, somebody gonna tell me the fuck is going on, like, hey, that's going for me, I swear to God, I'm coming down, like, I was pissed, like, somebody's gonna tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And the lady on the phone said, Chaplain IB will be giving you a call back in 20 minutes. And I said, okay, thank you. I hung up the phone. And I'm sitting there, and it's just me and his aunt. I was at one end of the sectional, and she was, I can vision this to this
So
day.
you didn't contact his people and everything.
Yep.
You know something ain't right.
Yeah, something ain't right, yeah. So I look up, and in walks two of the elders, and their culture, when news is delivered, I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, I don't, elders deliver it, and Dr. Aruma and Dr. Aziz and his and Uncle Cooney walked in. I looked up and I seen him walking in, and Dr. Aruma came over and he sat on the couch. I'm screaming at the lady, Tammy, on the phone, because now I've called Tammy back at the hotel.
That's right, 'cause I remember
Excuse my
who you
language.
is.
I'm saved,
And tell
and
me
trust me, but I
something.
was pissed off that somebody's not telling me something, and
Oh,
Dr. Aruma
wow.
came over and he sat down and he said, hang the phone up.
Okay.
And I was like, what, why? Like, what's going on? And he said to me, he was like, he grabbed my arm and he grabbed my shoulder and he said, Lisa, Billy is gone.
Wow. I'm sorry, Lisa. Yeah.
I didn't hear him. I just, I was like, what? Maybe even just said, and I would have never said that to him because he's a beautiful, wonderful man, older man, seasoned man. I lost it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of it now here is a blur. I remembered his aunt falling on the floor, crying. I thought everybody was lying to me. I think I told everybody to get the F out of my house. Like, I don't even know what I said.
Yeah. So, Lisa, other than his arm being blown off, or I'm sorry to say
No, it was exactly because he would have told you. He would, if you said it until he talked, he would have said, they blew my fucking arm off.
Okay.
Because
I ain't trying to be that rough. Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta be more sensitive in the
Nope.
way I talk.
No, you're real.
Yeah, so, did he have any other health issues?
You know, he struggled with mental health issues, PTSD, depression, anxiety, and he was on meds. You know, we were talking earlier about, you know, was there ever any substance use? Yeah, like, no, actually, occasionally drinker, but like, no, people think that, it's a misconception that a lot of people who commit suicide or so, you know, or addiction, you know, they're struggling with addiction, they end up killing themselves. No, he did not. And actually, I got him to be a card holder, medicinal marijuana card holder, imagine that. And I swear, if he would have entertained that more, he may still be with us. I'm lying. He
Yeah.
still would be with us because
right.
it's what got me through his death.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And my relationship is number one.
That's right.
And number two was that I had, you know, people wanting to give me Ativan every hour to calm me down and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like,
That ain't
I could remember, like, it's very sketchy, like, after that. I want to share this, and I'm sharing this now because I've finally had this conversation with my son.
Okay.
I won't air anything that I haven't said to him.
Because that was one of my questions that I had for you, because I know you guys do have a son together, and I wanted to ask you, have you ever talked to your son about this, like, and about him committing suicide? Because not only is he gone, but do he understand the reason why and
Yes.
how?
Yes, as a mother, my mothering style has always been transparency.
Okay.
Good, bad, or indifferent, because kids need
Keep
to
it
know.
real. They
Yeah.
do. Me too. That's
Kids need to know.
seriously, they do.
If you sugarcoat things with your kids and they get out there in the
They
real
gonna
world,
be
they
lost.
don't know what to do.
No, they ain't gonna be knowing what to do. That's right, Lisa.
I was sitting on the couch after that.
You always
I think
been
I
like that.
I
too.
always.
Even with Maya, me
Yes.
knowing, like, you always been 100.
Yes, you
Yeah.
have to be. You
Yeah.
have to be. I thank God I had good parents
Mhm.
that raised me to one, work hard for everything that you got. Work hard, because ain't nothing in life gonna be handed to you.
Right.
You love people, no matter what they look like, who they are, how much they got, and what they don't got. You love people no matter what.
Like that.
That's how my parents raised me and my brother.
That's
To
right.
to love everybody regardless.
That's how I know you, girl.
Yes. And so we get sidetracked here.
But that's okay. We was talking about Elijah. Did you explain to your son what happened?
Okay, so that day, I can remember crying and saying to myself and talking to God, like, how and what am I gonna say? Like, somebody was watching out the front window because they knew that he was gonna be walking up the sidewalk from the bus around a certain time, and so I'm sitting
Just to
there
see
and
your
I'm
reaction.
I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm gonna say, and I just sat there and I was like, God, help me.
Oh,
And
God.
that is
We said that
let me
together.
tell you, that was
Yeah.
the first time I can say to you, I clearly heard God's voice speak to me, because he said to me, be still and let me guide you.
Okay.
Those were his words.
I like that.
And I can't tell you what I said to my son.
Okay.
I know it was calm. I know it was truthful. I know I said that dad has passed. I was honest. He asked me how, and I said, he took his own life. I waited until he asked me how, and I told him. I was honest with him and Maya. Now Maya, it was that was hard, because Maya was in Florida, and I didn't know how. I knew she was at work at the time. Like, I knew she was already at work. So I called her friend's mom, and I said, I need you to get me her friend's phone number. And then I called a friend. I said, I need you to go pick up Maya from work. I just need you to go get her from work.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she's with you, then I need you to call me.
Right.
I don't know what happened in between, but the next call I got was Maya on the phone screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I know Maya badgered the friend and said,
What's going
on?
Tell
What's
me.
wrong? What's wrong?
You didn't came without me from work, because
Yeah. And she's screaming on the phone, and I couldn't tell you how she got home. Somebody got her a plane ticket, somebody got her from the airport, and I can remember being in the bathroom downstairs, and I knew she should be home anytime, and I heard the front door open, and she ran up the steps, and she laid in his office, just cried, screamed. Oh, wow. I'm sharing these things because, like, anybody who is thinking about doing stuff like this needs to know what you are leaving behind.
Absolutely.
Everything you're thinking about, you're going to leave it on your loved ones.
Absolutely.
I'm emotional right now because I'm supposed to be.
That's right.
95% of the time, I got my S together, but like.
No, even reliving it, because this is a lot. And like you said, when you get with somebody and you didn't say this, but I'm saying this, that was your husband.
Mm-hmm.
When y'all made that bond, it wasn't because y'all had to be, it was because y'all joined each other, y'all loved each other. So yeah, for that to be the reason that you lost him,
tragic.
You feel cheated.
Very
tragic, and it's hard to explain something like that to your kids in any situation, in death.
Yes.
Because it's a loss.
Yes. Yeah, and you know that it's gonna hurt them.
It's gonna hurt them.
But they gotta know.
Yeah.
But it's gonna hurt them. So you as a mom, like, how do you deliver news to your child? It's gonna hurt them.
That's
right?
hard. I was thinking about it. I've been thinking about it because I knew we was gonna do this interview, but that's hard. That's hard.
By God's grace, I was able to say
I think your tears is tears of armor, and that's the truth, because I knew we would cry.
Amen.
Because this is a crying topic, because how could you not? And it's recent.
Yes. It's
as
been,
well.
it was, well, actually, it's this month, April 22nd will be 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm
it's the
sorry.
month, it's the month, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I picked this month intentionally, because we talked about this months ago, you and I doing this together.
Absolutely.
I chose a time that was right for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I chose a time that I'm hoping is right for my kids, you
Yeah.
know, so, they knew I was coming, you know, and Maya already did, I was so proud of Maya sharing her
Maya
story
did
with
good.
you, that was the first time Maya talked about it.
And there was certain
like,
things she was like, nah, you have to ask my mom, and like,
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
is your story, it's hers as
It's
well
her
too,
story,
but
yeah,
you
different
know,
version though.
different version, yeah. And as I was saying, your tears is tears of armor, because I commend you for even coming up here sharing your story.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You getting stronger and stronger, whether
Yeah.
you feel like it or not. Crying
Oh, I
and
am.
we talking it out, and we telling y'all, and we encouraging y'all, and we letting y'all know what it goes through. So even the people that's out there that have it cross your mind or think about it, like, you hurting more than yourself, it's not a way out for you, because with you guys being husband and wife, I'm sure you had bills in his name. I'm sure there was a lot of things that you had to adjust to, like
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give a huge shout out to my Nigerian family,
okay,
because I wasn't working.
okay,
And Dilly, he received Social Security at the time, and that right there, he did not publicize.
okay,
He was, he felt less of a man being on Social Security than going out and having a
and
full-time
working.
job.
He was a man, Lisa. You had a man.
Yeah.
Don't give it to me. I work for mine.
He was a stay-at-home dad, but that allowed him to go back to school and get his education, but he got Social Security, right? So the day he died, so did his Social Security.
Okay.
Stopped. I wasn't working.
Yeah.
Here now I'm left with a 4-bedroom house and all the bills and 2 car payments and insurance and phone bills, and I'm not working. Now here's a whole nother level of stress on top of it, because what am I going to do?
Seriously.
My Nigerian family, and I say that because they were the best ever. I don't know what they did behind the scenes, but Dr. Aruma, again, same old gentleman, it's like my dad, that's my dad, Dr. Aruma, shout out to you.
Shout out to
Dr. Aruma. Continued Care, I think, is their home health agency. They changed the name on me. It's Continued Care, I think. They own that company. But,
one of the doctors that you named care for my mother.
Dr. Aziz?
Dr. Aziz.
Yes. Oh.
So I am familiar with them. Yeah.
So they went together and they knocked at Dr. Aruma and Dr. Akeem Adini came to the door and they gave me a check, and I wanted to fall. I cried, naturally cried, and it was enough money for me to pay my bills for X amount of time. Their whole community went together and just put money together for me to be able to stay at home and take care of me and the kids and take care of my stuff, you know, because they said that in their culture, when somebody like all his friends, like his guy friends, like, you know, your guy friends in your life, like let's say your husband passes, all his guy friends would step up and now become your husband, not husband in that manner, but responsible to take care of you. And so I still have that to this day.
You do?
I got certain ones that call and do certain things, like, you all right, it's beautiful.
Oh, that's dope. That makes me feel better. That's good, Lisa. That makes me feel better, Lisa. That's good.
It's beautiful.
Because actually, that was another one of my questions. I wanted to know, like, being that it was that, like, you had said earlier, people be thinking that it'd be a cheating situation and everything. So I was wondering, like, how did his family even treat you afterwards? Like, is it a blame game? Is it like just, or do they treat you good?
His family is my family. You know, it's our family together.
That's good.
I think most speculation come from just social media questions. You know what I'm saying? So like, Here's one of the other little bumps in the road, right? That after his death brought along is I met a guy, and it was probably 4 months after his death, and I was lonely. You know, not lonely.
Vulnerable, everything.
I was sad, depressed. I was at home. The kids were away. And, you know, I met this guy, and I put him through the ringer. Let me say that. Put him through the ringer. Like, I want no shit. Like, listen. You got a wife, you got a baby mama, you got a side chick, you got a job, you got a car. If you ain't got none of this stuff, don't bring it to me, because I just buried a husband.
Yeah.
I ain't know I'm no BS.
That's right.
I'm just keeping it out there. It was more like just a friendship that developed into a relationship in time.
So you are dating currently?
I've been dating, actually, and that was a very uncomfortable situation for my kids and family and friends. It's too soon.
I got a girlfriend.
I'm like, how do you know? Like, you're sitting there telling me it's too soon, and you're sitting beside your partner.
Yeah. You going home?
I didn't leave him.
I know that's right.
I didn't leave him.
Yeah.
He left me.
Yeah.
And there was one time I had like a realization when I was talking to my guy. I said, you know, like, I had a breakdown. Like, I've been rejected in my life as a woman. You know, different way. You get cheated on, that's rejection.
We all have.
Right. And I said, I think the biggest form of rejection was him killing himself, because, like, there's no closure.
Yeah.
At all. Like, you left me in the worst way.
Yeah.
How can you leave a woman in a worse way? He knew I didn't want to ever be a single mother again. I didn't want to have kids anymore. I was cool with Maya.
You got me.
You know, I didn't want to have kids anymore.
Do me like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I finally convinced myself we're married, like, you want to have a child? Okay, I'll give you one. You want a 3. And you do that, and now you're leaving me to do this by myself? Like, those feelings went through my head. Anger at, like, I remembered one time he said to my son, "You're mommy's little husband." And then I resented that. Like, is that why you told him that he was mommy's little husband? Because you knew he was going to go? Like, all these crazy things.
Because Lisa, before, because I skipped some things, because that was one of the questions that I wanted to ask you. Being that you, it's been 3 years ago, and I know you got to think back to the moment and everything that you guys were going through. Did you ever feel like you missed something? Did you see any signs? Like, is there anything you think you could have caught, or did he show something? Did he play with guns because he shot himself?
He was a former soldier, right? Yeah, he did. He shot himself in the heart, in the chest, I should say. Which I when I say detective, I got his autopsy. I tracked down the doctor that signed the autopsy, because I was determined to find out, did he shoot himself or did somebody kill him? Because in my brain for a while, I thought somebody killed him, because he was a soldier. He was an amputee. He didn't have a right arm. He only had his left arm, and the gun that he shot himself was a 9mm, but it had a conversion kit on it. I knew this because I shot the gun at the range myself. I knew exactly what guns he had.
Right.
He had started entertaining guns in the last year.
Okay.
And he already knew no guns in the house. That was the rule. When we got married, it was no guns in the house at all.
Okay. He
got a membership to the range. He wanted to, okay, we're safe. I finally went with him. I got pictures and videos of us on my Facebook of us at the range, which is the same gun that they said that he killed himself with. So I thought, okay, you already know how long a 9mm is. Well, a conversion kit makes it about this long. So how did he do that? I went through that whole.
Yeah, I would have.
Did this happen? Did somebody kill him? Like, what it does to you? I don't know. Like, I felt like somebody turned the power off in my brain for a second and turned it back on, and things didn't look right after.
Restart.
Yes, I'm social. It took me so long to go to the grocery store by myself.
I don't know, Lisa. That going through something traumatic like that, it would take you back. It would make
changes you. If you don't acknowledge the change and want to try to continue to try to make your life be what it used to be,
normal.
You're striving for something that you're never gonna get.
Ain't no normal.
And this is what I tried to tell my kids in the beginning too. Like, as harsh as it is, like, he's not coming back.
Lisa,
how many times I had to tell my kids that, and how many times I said it with so so many tears that I couldn't even get it out.
I
Like,
know. That's like, you can't even understand. He ain't coming back. Y'all ain't gonna never see him again. I know. Unfortunately, I didn't experience death. I think that's a big part. I go to therapy and stuff too. Like that's a part of what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Like the loss and stuff.
I did counseling. My kids could share their own, like, that piece, but like for myself, I had to do counseling because I said, like, I was the one that when I worked at a local community health agency, I was the one telling people that you gotta take care of yourself, you know.
I know.
Now I practice on what I preach. Then it was time for me to do everything that I had said to somebody else. It was time for me to do it myself. So I shout out to Cornerstone Counseling Services. It's
They
Christian.
work. That's actually where I went to. So I'm
telling
just
you.
perping, but everybody say that. But yeah, they work.
I had the best therapist, and it was a guy, and I'm glad it was a guy because I have a strong personality, and I wanted somebody to hold me accountable, and he did. In the most gentle way because it's a faith-based counseling center.
And you need that.
But one day he was like, Lisa, that's in your head.
Okay.
Look at me. That's in your head. I'm like, okay. Yeah,
So Lisa, did your husband leave you guys a note? Because
Yes.
I know sometimes when people choose to take their life, they usually leave a note or something special or something for somebody. So he left a note.
He did. He left a note, and I still have the detective that was on his case cell phone and my phone still today. He was the most amazing detective that I never met. I couldn't put him in a lineup, but through the phone and through email, he did everything he could to help me. He took a picture of it and texted it to me because it had to go through. Like, I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm like, I just gotta know something. I'm crying to him, and you know, he said, I'm a husband,
everything
I'm a
is
father. Yeah, and so he said,
He felt your pain.
He did. He was
Thank
like,
God
he
that
took a
he did.
picture of it and he texted it to me. And he said, but I'm gonna text you before I send it to you, so that way you know it's coming. Because I want you to not be alone when you read that. You know, I chose to be alone when I read it.
Yeah.
I chose to because I wanted it was all about immigration.
So when he wrote the letter, he wrote it to you, or he just wrote it?
It was to, I think it said to my family.
To my family.
No.
You were a part of his family though.
Can I find it in my phone? I can just tell you what it said in the front. I have it in my phone.
What you mean you will?
Do you guys want to hear it, please?
It's up to you, Lisa. Sure.
I don't know if you got time.
I don't know. Like, okay, so right now, Lisa, you sharing a part of the letter, the note that was left.
It was April 21st, which is another thing that made me question because his death certificate says April 22nd at 5:49 a.m. That's a whole nother story. We won't go into that, but anyway, it says to my wife, Lisa Shafa, and it has my phone number. She is a great person and a wonderful mother. The last thing I want to see is to allow USCIS, United States Department of Immigration Services, to take me away from my family. I've been in the United States for America for a total of 20 years now. However, the immigration has made my life miserable. I'm a good man. I've done everything right, and I'm gonna leave it right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it right there. But anyway,
thank you for sharing that, Lisa. Yeah, because most people, not
It said
everybody.
at the end, I'm sorry, it says, to my kids, Elijah and Maya, I'm sorry, my wife, Lisa, I'm sorry, I love you. I love y'all. And he didn't say y'all.
Lisa, you, I know you look at it so many times.
I don't, actually.
You don't? Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, but that's good though, I mean.
Yeah, because you don't want to go back into that dark space, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love his handwriting. You know, I'm gonna get a tattoo. Like, I have somebody that volunteered after he passed to do me a partial sleeve because I want, like, I have small tattoos. I'm a chicken poop. But I have one.
Okay.
And I want a partial sleeve here, but I want a scripture. I want to be still and know that I'm God, because that's what I heard his voice say to me when I had to say that to Elijah. So I want that with flowers, but I want his handwriting because it's so unique. I'll show
Okay.
y'all can't see it on there, but you know, I'll show you.
I'd love to see it.
It's so unique. Such a doctor's.
So I was gonna ask you, how was his family life? You answered it. They gotta be loving to treat you that way and to come over there and stuff.
Didn't look fancy.
Oh, it look real fancy
Yeah.
and neat.
Very
Put
neat.
together.
And he was left-handed.
Yeah, cause that's
Yeah.
how she writing look. Not as neat, but I could definitely tell it's left hand.
Left-handed.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. I was, listen, it could all be bad, but I was blessed, right? We started this off with me saying I want people to know more than me than just that, but
That's right.
like I was blessed with 13 years of a wonderful marriage,
Mm-hmm.
so, and I don't want people to just know him
Right.
for that also.
So, okay, let's get to the next question because
Okay.
it ain't all bad. It's
Yeah.
what are some of the great things that you will miss about him?
Oh my God, he was crazy. When I say crazy, I don't mean like mentally crazy. He was so dang goofy and would do off the wall stuff. Like, he knew no boundaries. He thought he was above the law and he represented himself in court one time. I'm not joking when I said this man thought he was invincible.
Yeah.
He could hang 65-inch TVs on the wall by himself with one arm. I couldn't do it too.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but most of all, like I shared earlier, like he taught me how a man is supposed to treat a woman.
Okay.
Behind closed doors and in the public, he showed me what a father is supposed to be like to kids, to his own, to kids that aren't his own. He didn't, and to how to be a Christian. You know, I remember, I'll tell you this though, first phone call I made that I can think of was I called my pastor, Pastor Doug Boquist. He retired from Lima Community Church. God, I miss that guy, and his wife Debbie. I called him and I said, I don't even remember what I said, like to lead up to it, but like I said, did he go to heaven? I just need to know if he went to heaven. And Pastor Doug said, and by the way, Pastor Doug did a bomb service for him. Yes. He said, well, Lisa, I don't know anybody that's went to heaven and came back and able to tell anybody that. So let me ask you this one. Do you believe that Dilly had heart in his God in his heart when he died? I said, he didn't live without God. Are you kidding me? And he was like, that's all you need to know then.
Right.
And I left it at that. Like, I've never doubted where he was at.
Because that's a true statement that he made. Nobody never died and came back and told us anything. No one.
Because I had always been told, people who die by suicide, they go to hell, they're going to burn in hell, their soul's going to burn in hell. That's what I was told my whole life.
What is something you wish that you could tell him today? What is something, if he's seeing you right now, like look at the camera and talk to him?
I can't do that one. I ain't ready to do that one. But I will say this one. That's great though. I'm going to think about that because I'm going to get there.
Okay.
I'm going to use that as part of my healing journey.
I like that.
I'm going to say it in the mirror.
Yeah.
What I want to say to him.
Right. I respect the fact that you ain't ready yet because that's a hard question. I wouldn't even know. Yeah.
But I will say my dad died in October.
Okay.
And leading up to it, I had a conversation with my whole family and said, I didn't want to target him because we knew that my dad was passing. But who wants to say, okay, Dad, you're going to make it to heaven first?
I'm sorry.
Because nobody knows that for sure. I could have left that day and got hit by a car, died, right? And so I said, anybody in this room, I'm just going to say, because we were all together, whoever makes it to heaven first, please do me a favor. I need you to do two things. Throat punch Dilly, like right in the neck. Because I used to tell him, punch you in your throat when you do some dumb stuff. Like, I used to have to get in it, like when he would do stupid shit. Like one time he kidnapped his aunt, like in a joking way, and threw her in the back of his SUV and like drove like 100 miles an hour and was making her roll around like as a joke. And I'm like, that's not funny. And she didn't think it was funny either. But he thought it was funny. Him and his cousin thought it was funny to do something like that. And so, anyway, I asked my dad, I asked my family, I said, whoever makes it to heaven first, to throat punch him. and to tell him I'll see you soon, but not too soon, because I got a life to live yet. But when I get there, I just can't wait to see you and hug you and love you. Because he's gonna have both of his arms. He's not gonna have glasses, and he's not gonna have his big fat stomach. They used to say that he was a skinny Nigerian with this big old round stomach because he could eat 2 Whopper meals. No lie.
He could eat
2 Whopper meals. I will bring you a Whopper, Ashafa. That's what I'll tell him.
Yeah. Aw,
Yeah.
that's dope. I like that. Lisa.
Yep. Thank you.
What have you taken from this experience? Unfortunate experience. What have you taken from it?
I had this conversation with somebody the other day. It was a professional, and I said, spend your time with your family while they're here. No job in this world is ever worth taking time away from your family, because I worked long hours and for not the greatest money, but I worked long hours, which now I could say if I could turn back the clocks, I would have worked 8 hours and went home and enjoyed my family more instead of working 12.
That's right.
I gave
Most
more.
of the time taxes take it, but it can add up, so don't get me wrong, but a lot of the times taxes take it anyway.
They do. They do.
Time is so short, we don't know when we're leaving here, we don't, and even the time that you have outside of your job, when you do have time, do something, get involved, talk to your people, learn more about them, because you could be around somebody every day and don't even know them.
Amen.
You know, you could be a part of my family and don't even know me.
Amen.
You know what I mean? You think you know what you thought you knew, but you don't even know me. You know what I mean?
Like, what do you like to do? Like, when you're stressed, what do you like to do? Your loved ones around you are supposed to know those things.
That's right.
Your circle.
How to cheer you up.
Yeah, your loved ones or who you define. I don't mean just family, but who your loved ones, who your circle is. Who's going to help you? Who can look at you in your face and say something wrong?
I know that's right, Lisa.
Something ain't right.
Yeah.
My girlfriends are like
people.
that. Yep.
You need them people, because I was going to ask you about your support. Like, do you have support? You know, you definitely went to therapy because you told us, but your support system, how is that?
My homegirls, Yolanda, and Marcella, and even Melisha came through, Dilly Bola, my sister. They stayed with me for almost like the first week, around the clock, on my couch.
That's good.
I don't know how they were fitting and what they did, but I remember they weren't leaving. And I think it was like maybe 10 days in. I don't know how many days. It's blur. I said, you guys have to go home now. Yeah. Like, y'all got jobs, you have to get back to.
I gotta adjust.
I have to let it sink in. And that first day when Elijah went to school and the homegirls were all gone, it hit me. It hit me hard. And then like probably day 5 or 6, weird on my dates, I painted my kitchen bright ash yellow. Drank beer all day long. I don't even know if I think Elijah was in Florida with Maya at the time. I drank beer all day long. I set out to drink beer and paint my kitchen yellow. Yeah, it's still bright yellow.
It was therapy.
I needed change and I needed happiness. Yeah. It's like literally brightness. Sunflower yellow. It's lemons. My kitchen is lemons, and so my walls are lemon color.
So Lisa, before I let you go, because we've held it down, and you've been great, Lisa.
Thank you.
We didn't cry and everything.
I know. It's okay too. Let me tell you, it's okay to cry. Yeah. It's okay to feel the emotions. I remember somebody said, it's like I heard it in the distance, like within the first day or two, like somebody said to my kid, and I don't even know which kid it was, you need to be strong for your mother. I heard it from like an earshot, and I turned around and I can remember this saying, if you tell my kids one more time to be strong for me and get the F out of my house, because being strong is exactly what got us here. Yeah. It's exactly what got us here, because he didn't want to burden nobody, because he was a strong man, and especially because he was a man of color. Let's keep it real here. Men of color have it hard. Yeah. There's layers to things that I would never ever be able to understand, you know. So you got to think about the layers that people go through. Black men and women. Yes, I was going to say this, Pooh, because I heard this on a video earlier today about the black woman is treated the worst. Really? Out of Anybody in the human race.
Yeah.
It's the black woman.
It's the truth.
That hurt my soul.
It's the truth.
Hurt my soul. And you know what? And so people are ready to have conversations and say those things out loud, like,
right.
and acknowledge it.
Right.
People gonna keep sweeping stuff under the rug. This is exactly why I said I'm ready to talk to you about this, because
I'm glad.
I sweeping nothing under the rug.
Those words, I appreciate you even knowing that, cause yeah, Lisa, but you never acted like you was better than me. We never felt like that. Like, I love you, you my sister.
Amen.
Yeah, like
I'd hug you, but I think our monkey ears right here are not monkey, Mickey Mouse. I said these are Mickey Mouse ears.
We never cared nothing about none of that. So
no,
yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, but no, those are very true statements. Black men and black women have it hard.
There's layers of things that you go through, and you gotta have somebody to talk to about it. You can't just keep stuffing.
Please don't. That makes everything worse. I encourage you guys that if it's something heavy on you, find somebody out of all the people that you know that you can trust and confide in and talk about it, because it will get better. Somebody that loves you going to lead you in a different direction. They are going to try to help you, and they love you. And I shared on my episode with your daughter about my experience, which I'm not going to do that right now, but I am a survivor.
Amen.
And I'm not even ashamed, you know, and that's why we have these moments to let you guys be aware that it ain't a certain look out here, that it's people who think about things of that nature, because life be life. And if you was on the opposite side and somebody came to you and they presented that to you, that they wanted to do that to themselves, we have to be open enough to lead them in the right direction. Don't play them like they crazy. Don't overlook what they're saying. Try your best to help them. Talk them out of it. Like, dig deep inside. If it was one of yours, or if it's your child or whatever, dig deep inside to encourage them in the best way. I got a question, Lisa, that I was curious about, not just in particular your situation, but they say like when people take their own life, the insurance don't like to pay for it. So is that true? Like when people take their own life, do you have trouble with insurance? Okay.
I didn't have anything because he was on Social Security. So the minute he died, his financial support for me stopped.
But
married
you
or not.
should get it for your son.
Let me tell you something. I learned the hard way that being married to somebody means nothing except you have a legal document saying that you're married, because in order for me to do anything of his, I would have had to establish an estate. Okay. That costs money. His Social Security stopped. I for being his wife, I got $250.
Wow. Once or?
Once.
Oh.
Yeah, right. That's what I said. I wanted to come through the window at the Social Security Department
and say, y'all take it.
$250.
Yeah.
You take that out of every one of my paychecks.
I know that's right. Lisa.
But you can't give me your $250. And then I learned this stuff. I'm about to move out of the country because our government is just screwed up.
Sure is.
The check that I get from my son, because his dad's gone, is income based. So if I make too much, they take it from me.
Yeah.
He ain't coming back, so why are you taking it from me?
I know that's right.
I never will have another financial provider for him.
That's right.
But it's income based.
Yeah.
So you can take my check if I make too much money.
Right.
Knowing that he ain't coming back.
Right.
That's our government for you.
Wow. You suck.
Yeah. That's a whole other episode.
Lisa, we here at Opinions, thank you so much for coming. It was an honor having you. Everything that you have said to me, I adore your strength.
Thank you.
I
want to hug you now.
Okay.
I have to. I'm sorry. I need to.
Seriously,
I need to, because I had like a quick flashback of your interview with Maya, right? And I was so proud of you for being vulnerable with your own story of having suicidal ideations. And I'm so glad that you said suicidal ideations don't discriminate. I don't care how much money you got, what color you are.
Yeah.
Those thoughts come and go.
Yeah.
And that it happens because life hits you out of nowhere.
Yes.
And you have to have the ability to cope with life.
Yeah.
When things happen. Because something else is going to happen. This is the worst tragedy that I went through, but I lost my first child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that was tragedy for me.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have coping skills as a human,
yes,
you will naturally think that there's nothing else in this world worth living for and
right.
be gone.
Yes. But we gotta find our inner strength because we
do.
all have it.
Yes.
We all have it. It's like a devil and an angel.
Yes.
You know, when they used to make them cartoons, it's like a devil and an angel speaking to you. You know to do this, but you sympathizing with yourself, you feeling down, so the devil just got you feeling like that. Blow his ass.
Yes. Yeah.
And ride with that angel and override it because it gets greater later. Life can unravel at any time for any of us. If you ever feel down, you can text the word HOME, HOME, to 741-741 or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. Those will be in the video, so we can make sure you get them, but that's just if you ain't got nobody to talk to. If you just ain't got nobody, but call somebody who you think love you, and you'll be surprised at how the response you will get in the love that you will get real quick, especially if you tell them you thinking about killing yourself. Shit gonna get good quick, because don't nobody want you to go.
No.
We'll just figure it out.
That's the enemy wanting you to think that.
Yeah,
that
we'll
your
just
family
figure
is
it
going to
out.
be better. Oh, they'll be better off without me. They'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
No, we won't. No,
Yeah.
we won't. I wanted to add something. You know, I know people who have been fearful of texting numbers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The police aren't going to show up on you. They're there on the other end to help talk you through the emotion, the negative emotions that you're feeling.
Because
that's what they're there for.
I do know some people think that they will instantly get admitted to the hospital, and they be scared of that. And
it's a helpline to help you get through the moment, because those moments pass. Right. They pass. But if you react in the moment, it's done. It's done.
So you guys, remember, take everything in. Thank you so much, Lisa. And
I'm so proud of you, by the way.
Thank you, Lisa.
I am. I'm so proud of her. I knew she's younger than me, y'all. So you was a young mom when I met you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
She's doing her thing, y'all. Give it up for her.
I've been burning this candle right here, you guys. Unique Candles. This episode of Opinions is sponsored by Unique Candles. Unique Candles is a natural-based product line that helps you on your healing journey to balance with stress, anxiety, depression, grief, and etc. If you want these candles, it's this size and all kind of sizes, different smells, everything. You guys, I encourage you to get with Unique Candles. Today's episode is sponsored by Unique Candles, and what do you guys think about the smell in the room?
I'm big on aromatherapy. So when you told me that you were lighting one of her candles up in the beginning, I was excited. Yeah. Because that's one of the things that I added to my healing was aromatherapy. Okay. It works.
Yes, it works. And Quay personally hand makes these. The Quasia Unique, she hand makes these candles, and yes, I love the way they look, her presentation. Please go to her website, you guys. Check out uniquecandlesco.com. Thank you, Unique Candles, and we love you here at Opinions. Like, share, and subscribe. We want to hear your comments. Show Lisa some love, y'all. I don't care how long it's been. We still need you.
Amen. Amen.
Bye-bye.